Hey, Danny, thanks for coming on to Social Dream Machine. I am excited to talk to you. I love speaking with other business owners and creators. You actually own a software company, so you're a little bit, have a little bit of a different model, which I think is extremely interesting. But for those folks that don't know you, would you just mind introducing yourself and what you do?
I'm a software developer and I run a small little boutique software development company. We create various tools for the post production industry, primarily Adobe users and Adobe video editors who are using Adobe Premiere Pro, and then also people who do 2D animation and various compositing using Adobe After Effects. We sell a variety of tools for that platform as well, but we've been doing it since about 2017. So I've come a long way in that time, and yeah, it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, I think that Brevity is a cool app. I think you had messaged me on LinkedIn, and I think that captions are kind of a pain for creators. I know that there's some companies that probably have some okay captions that are like kind of like out of the box, like Riverside FM or Descript potentially. But like when you want to do something a little bit different, or for whatever reason when it doesn't work out in the workflow, there's times when you really need like kind of like a backup way of doing things. Could you explain to people kind of what you developed and like what like was that kind of like the main pain points? Because I as a creator have wanted to rip my hair out like many times trying to create captions that are pain.
The Brevity tool is one of our brand new tools that we just launched specifically for Premiere Pro. I noticed that as an Adobe user and one who's also creating a lot of short form content for social media, creating animated captions in the trendy styles that we typically see on social media is quite the pain inside of Premiere. And there's some other tools out there, some that are web based that allow you to go to different websites and upload your video and create captions. Some are also tools for Premiere Pro. But the web-based solutions were kind of a headache for me to leave my editing platform in order to go ahead and just create captions. So I wanted to develop a tool and a workflow that allowed me to just stay inside of Premiere Pro all day long without having to leave Premiere. And I also wanted to solve some of the other like workflow related issues that the other tools for Premiere Pro kind of had included inside of their products. So ours is super sleek, super fast. Just makes it like really quick to go ahead and generate these awesome animated captions that you see on various social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels. So it started out where I actually was trying to develop more of a automated AI editing tool. And so by that we would go ahead and we would take long form content and we would transcribe it. And then once we had that transcription of like, an hour long podcast or, game stream or interview, we would go ahead and run that long transcript, all that text through ChatGPT and ask it to identify various social media worthy segments, like kind of like the golden nuggets of that podcast or that long form content, and then automatically edit those into new clips. And so that's where the tool started. And along the way, I was like, hey, we have all this transcription data of all of what's being said inside of this long form content. It'd be really nice to create some captions for that to go along with these edits. And so I started developing this captioning workflow that ended up working really well. And the more testing and feedback that we got from our user base and from just general video editors, we found that the captioning portion of a tool was really most useful for editors at its current state. So we really leaned into the captioning, including various presets, allowing users to save their own presets, a whole bunch of different styling and animation options that just makes it like super robust and customizable to create captions that really conform to your brand. So that's kind of how we got to that point.
Walk me through like how you use it. So like if like you're a new user, like how do you like go from like just like buying the thing to like running your first caption?
So when you first open up the tool and you have a new sequence, let's say that you have your social media edit ready to go. Maybe it's a minute and a half long. All you do is set your in and out points for the portion that you want to generate captions for, and then you just click on the captions button, and a new window is going to pop up that will allow you to configure some of the transcription settings for the captions that you want to generate. So you can select a animation preset for how you want the captions to be styled. you can also kind of get more advanced and first, you can translate the captions to a different language. You can automatically detect various languages. Sometimes we found that users have clips where there's multiple languages being spoken inside that one clip. And our tool handles all of those kind of edge cases and just provides you a really robust way to generate these captions. So once you go ahead and, say it's really simple, maybe you just have one language and it's a fairly common one, you can go ahead and just click create. It'll render out your sequence, take the audio, transcribe it, and then automatically generate a new layer in your timeline that has all of the caption settings and all the caption data existing in just one layer in your sequence. So it's super easy to use. Like you can literally use it in 2 clicks if you'd like.
How does that work on like the back end? Like what's like really going on there out of curiosity?
As soon as you click on that create button, it's going to go ahead and, like I said, it kind of renders out that audio from your sequence, at which point it then uploads that audio file to our server. And then it kicks off this transcription routine in order to generate the transcription data for what's being said inside that audio clip. So we use a variety of different transcription models on our back end. Everything from OpenAI Whisper, which is OpenAI, who also creates ChatGPT. They have this transcription model that's very popular. It's open source and it's really robust. Now, there's also been some new advancements in the industry where there's been some new transcription models that have come out that have increased accuracy and are a little bit quicker. So we've implemented that as well for various instances where you want to go faster and you want to be a little bit more accurate, maybe. But the thing with that model is that it is only accommodating a segment of the languages that we support. So if it's a fairly unique or different language, we still support it. It's just going to be using that other transcription model. So we transcribe the audio and then we get that data back and we send it back to the tool. And then once we have that data for what word is being said at which point, it will give us, it gives us this data about every single word that's being said, who is saying it, and then the time code for when it's being said. And we use all that data to pipe it into what's called a Mogurt. So in Premiere Pro, you can have these like Mogurt layers, which are layers that allow you to create various animations. And sometimes these Mogurts can be made directly in Premiere. Sometimes they're being made in After Effects. In our instance, it's being made in After Effects. There's a bunch of math and logic and code that goes and takes that data for all of these different words that are being said, and then using the supplied user preferences for how they want the captions to be styled, and then configures all that to render the captions. So most of the kind of heavy lifting is really done on our server. And after users have generated those captions, they can also use some cool AI features that run in our server as well, such as auto-suggesting highlighted words, going through and identifying various segments inside of the transcript that could be represented by an emoji or stock footage. So we're starting to implement more of these AI features into the tool that just makes it really quick and easy for social media creators to generate this type of content.
Let's talk a little bit about your business model too, as like a SaaS company. Is that what you consider a SaaS company, or is it just a software developer company?
It's a SaaS company, and that's kind of been a new transition for us. For most of the company's history, we've been selling perpetual licenses, and that's been the status quo of the industry kind of up until now. Users are most used to going ahead and just buying a piece of software and then they own it outright. However, there are a lot of these products that come out where the user might buy it, but 3 months later, the tool becomes either obsolete or it breaks, and the developer isn't there to go ahead and fix the code because they've already made their sale. So we're starting to package up a bunch of different tools and turn the industry upside down with this new subscription model. And we've gotten some pushback on the After Effects side. It's not a model that's built for everyone, and it's kind of a little disruptive for the industry. So some users are a little afraid of it, but that's more for the After Effects side of things. This new Premiere tool is being welcomed a lot more by the video editing community. And yeah, so it's been a new transition for us to get into SaaS.
For someone that's like new to like I guess this business, how would you say it's a little bit different than like the creator model? Obviously, it seems like it's obviously a lot more complicated. When you have to go build software, you probably have to know your ICP really well. You have to either be a
Yep.
technical developer or someone that's actual developer, or go hire like someone to develop it. But usually these companies make money off of like subscription models, but then a lot of the times some of them will have, depending on the company, like outreach.io probably has a ton of employees, but then it might just be like just one person doing some of the like the back end stuff to like fix things or whatever. But like, how do you look at like, I guess like for the people that like are wanting, like even like Danco actually started like core tech. So there are some cases, I guess, now where you're seeing some crossover between like, I guess, creators and SaaS. But for those people that are kind of like new, they're like maybe bridging into that or thinking about it, like how do you suggest like starting out, and like how does some of like the math or the model work?
I was lucky enough to be in an industry that has a lot of parallels between with software development. So while I was training and kind of getting skilled in my industry, which is originally motion graphics and doing 2D animation inside of After Effects, you're learning a lot of logic that is applicable to software development. So as I had launched a company, I actually started out by partnering with a developer in order to build some of our first initial tools. But over the course of the company's history, I started getting more and more versed in software development. And so I'm thankful again because the industry that I was in, motion graphics and using After Effects, it's a very technical type of art. You're really combining the creativity along with the technical knowledge of programming in order to generate these 2D animations. And so when it came time to really jump into software development and go after my first product that I built without having to use a developer, I was already kind of up to speed with how I wanted to be built, all the right ways to be thinking as a software developer. And of course, I struggled quite a bit as a first-time software developer trying to build a commercially viable product. But I went through those growing pains, got through all of this research in order to just get the thing working. And yeah, it was I think it would be a lot more challenging for myself to have started this company if I hadn't been in an industry that supported kind of this mentality of what software development is. And if I didn't go through and have that technical skills going into learning software development so that I could be a technical founder, it would probably I probably would not have been able to bootstrap my company. And so my company's bootstrapped right now. I'm the technical co-founder or technical founder, doing a lot of the work right now. But if
Mm.
the company's been around for 6 years, so we still have a lot of revenue that comes in from our previous tools, which we still sell perpetual licenses for. So that's allowing us to continue to bootstrap our company. I've hired another full-time software developer to go ahead and help me build products and help me with the software development of existing and new products that we offer on our catalogs. So yeah, being a technical founder is super hard to I don't know. I think it's pretty hard to do if you don't come from an industry that has some of those parallels with software development.
How do you view like the exchange of money for something? Like, how do you know like what to price something out of curiosity? Because I feel like that's always hard too, like to know like what works and like what people will pay and like how elastic it is. Like, how do you think about pricing?
Thankfully, the amount of time that I've been in this industry now, I've gotten a good idea and feeling through for how to price things, and that's through talking to customers. That's through trial and error with some products that I released with too high of price points or too low of price points. So it's a lot of trial and error. But I think now that I'm kind of stepping into new products and in spaces that I haven't previously been in, where I don't have that previous experience to go off of, it's a lot of customer outreach, and it's a lot of one identifying who that ICP is, and then going and finding people who fit that profile to talk to them, and not necessarily just asking flat out like, "Hey, how much would you pay for this?" There's a classic example called the mom test, which is when you talk to a lot of people, they and you ask them like, "Oh, would you buy this product? How much would you buy this product for?" Just because they tell you like a number or they say yes or no, that doesn't really mean that they will go ahead and purchase it for that price or purchase it at all. They're just trying to kind of be kind. And it's almost like you're talking to your mom, like your mom's going to tell you, like, yeah, of course I would buy it. But when reality comes, they don't. So, yeah, a lot of trial and error, a lot of talking, engaging people's interests, not necessarily asking them how much they would pay for the tool, but asking how much they, what other similar tools that they use, and then going and identifying the price points of those tools has been helpful for us.
What was the first thing you ever sold online personally? Was how far back do we have to go for that out of curiosity? Because I think,
Mm.
and did you have any like imposter syndrome as far as like, will this thing sell, and be nervous, I guess?
I'd say beyond just selling like various little things on Etsy or selling, garage sale picks on eBay. The first big like digital product that I sold that I went and really created a brand behind was our first After Effects tool. So again, most of my experience has been in kind of like this niche little post-production video editing animation industry. But yeah, that was back in 2017 when it was really a tool that I built specifically for myself. And I worked with a developer. I said, hey, I'm using in my animation work, this is a workflow problem that I have that I want to solve with a tool. And so once we had the product built, I was using it heavily. I really enjoyed it. And I figured, why not go and throw it up on a marketplace and see if it will sell? And lo and behold, it did. And I ended up getting a decent amount of traction from that. And after that point, I really dedicated my career to pursuing product development, software development. But yeah, it was pretty much back in 2017 when I was first seriously creating a product for a market.
When you put it back on that marketplace, did you have to do any of the advertising, or is it like an Etsy type thing where they do everything and you just sort of throw it up there?
It's very similar to Etsy, and there in that you don't really need to do a whole lot of marketing. And so this marketplace in this industry is kind of unique. One, because they don't allow competition on their platform. So if you go ahead and identify and build a product that has a set of features or fills a gap in the market, they don't allow another competitor to come in and create a competing product on their marketplace. So when I started building these tools, the marketplace was still kind of young, and there was a lot of opportunity in the market to go and seize. And once you've seized that opportunity, you've got some good competitive insulation from other people trying to build competing products. Um, so yeah, that was very nice for me to step into that type of marketplace where one, a lot of the marketing was kind of done just by having your tool on the marketplace, and then also having that kind of insulation from competitors so that no one can really come in and create a competing product. You can just build something, and if it works, then it will sell for, I'm still selling that first product that I built in 2017 on the marketplace.
Well, that's pretty cool. So do you have to support it still, or how does that work?
There's definitely some updates that we need to be aware of, but where these tools are developed kind of in a closed environment, which is Adobe After Effects or Adobe Premiere Pro. So the closed environment means that once you get something working fairly well, there's not that much upkeep that you need to do other than just building out like new feature requests that users have, or every once in a while there might be a breaking change, but it's nothing that is super devastating. It's pretty easy to fix, so there's not a whole lot of upkeep and updates that really need to be done. There is a lot of customer support from users who are just unfamiliar with how to use a tool, and we combat that by developing a lot of different educational content and a lot of documentation for how to use our products.
My last question for you is, do you have any tips for like mindset that you've cultivated through the years to kind of get to where you're at now, or like any of shifts that you've had over time, that like just anything that you would leave for any entrepreneurs that are looking to, I guess, to get into the game, or to actually just get in there and make stuff happen?
I think that you really need to have a project in mind. And I think that once you have a project in mind, you just need to go for it. I see a lot of people out there who are always bouncing across different ideas and projects, and they have all of these things that they want to do. I call them, entrepreneurs. They always want to become an entrepreneur, but they never take that first step into actually going ahead and building something.
Fair.
So you need to just kind of dive in and just go for one of the ideas that you have and pursue it for not for a month, not for 2 months, but at least a solid 6 months so that you can really vet if this thing has some traction, if you're able to generate some type of revenue from it. I'm a big believer in kind of putting a lot of your eggs into one basket, because you're not going to, the person who goes after whatever the saying is, tries to chase two rabbits, gets none.
Mm.
You kind of need to just really go in and really go for one of the problems that you're trying to solve and not bounce around from all these different ideas. Just double down on one that you have some conviction on, try it out for a solid 6 months and really give it your all. And if things don't materialize, move on to the next one.
That's totally fair. Do you have any favorite books too?
How to Win Friends and Influence People is one of my favorites. I think that is goes a long way in sales and just developing relationships and connections with various people in your industry or people who you just want to have in your kind of circle. I like the E Myth a lot. It kind of goes into a lot of the underlying theories about how you should structure your business. And I don't know. I think we employ a lot of those different tactics. I like 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. That's a really cool book about developing massive venture-backed type of companies that are really innovative and do a lot of, you're creating something new for the first time. And there's times when, you can look at a competitor and try to make a competing product or service, and that might work. But the truly revolutionary companies are the ones that start something from zero, from nothing.
Where do people reach out, Danny, if they want to learn more?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Danny Perry. I'm pretty active on there, but feel free, if you're interested in checking out some of our animation tools, head over to plugandplay.app. There you'll find a large catalog of all of our different After Effects products that are really useful for developing animations, creating different effects, and just increasing your workflow speed with inside of After Effects. And if you're a short form video creator, definitely check out our new tool, Brevity. You can find that at brevity.pro. And that's our new AI captioning tool that we're really starting to expand beyond just captions.
It's a really nice looking tool. I actually have a copy of it myself, so I'm excited to play around with it. But thanks so much for your time, Danny.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me, Jeremy.